Yeah, it did. Sorry. Forgot I had that on. Okay, number 8. All right, we're finding the midpoint in number 8. So we have x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. So x1 is negative 5, x2 is negative 3. So since it's plus a negative, I just write minus 3 because I think it's easier to see. Right, then y1 is negative 4, and y2 is negative 2. So that gives you negative 8 over 2 and negative 6 over 2. So negative 4 and negative 3. One is number 10. So for this one, we're finding slope. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 13. y1 is 12. And then x2 is negative 7 minus x1, which is negative 8. So 13 minus 12 is 1. Negative 7 minus negative 8 is 1. So 1 over 1 is just 1.
I see what I did. I used the wrong numbers. Yep.
Like the wrong numbers in the wrong spot?
Well, somehow I accidentally put negative 8 twice and completely threw out the negative 12.
That would do it.
Yeah.
So you're flipped. Yep, that happens a lot. All right. Questions? Did that help clear it up somewhat? Do you feel better about it than you did yesterday? Okay. How dare you leave the smiley face off your math homework, Micah? Whoa, Dylan. Calm down. No, like there was part of 4.1 that I forgot to teach you yesterday. So we're going to do that really quick. So it's on page 157, the part above your problems. So we're going to talk about what slopes look like. So positive.
Where is it? Oh, now.
Right, so positive slope would look like this. So if that's your axis, it's a line that's going up like that. So from the bottom left to the top right. All right, that's your positive slope. Negative slope goes, yes, the other way. So like this. Then we have undefined slope. Uh-huh. So undefined slope is just a line straight up and down. I guess I should be putting arrows on these. And then zero slope.
So there's no such thing as a defined slope?
No, all the other ones are defined. That is just undefined.
Could they not have made that clear in the book? They didn't say anything about it in the book. That confused me a little bit.
All right, so for it to be undefined, basically that means when you find the slope, you end up with a 0 on the bottom because you can't divide by 0, which is what makes it undefined.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Right, so 0 is when you get a 0 on the top part and you get a horizontal line. Yes. Right, and then positive is just when your answer is positive, negative is when it's negative.
Yeah.
Okay, have you guys ever heard of slope guy?
No.
Is he sloped?
It helps you remember these.
let's watch it. Or
All right, now you draw it.
Now, oh.
All right, so look. He's positive, negative, undefined, 0. Makes a face. Slope guy.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
he looks like he's banged up on one side.
He does.
Did he get
Right,
the-
so it's a U to remember that it's undefined. It makes his nose.
Oh.
And then you have the zeros on the end. Because those are 0 slope.
That's so smart. Plus, minus, eyebrow.
It does kind of look like, it's like he's like
Plus,
either creepy winking or like he got punched in the face. But,
I punched him because he likes that.
oh.
Just kidding.
right, but that's slope guy. He helps you remember stuff. Right, so again, so going up is positive, down negative, his nose is undefined, and mouth is 0.
Poor guy.
It has an undefined. You have an undefined though.
Your nose isn't very fine. I'm serious.
All right, we're going to do page 158, 13 through 20, and then we're going to check it here in a second. So pause the video, do the work, come back and check it. Post it on LMS. Okay, so X and Y intercepts are where the line is going to intercept the X-axis or Y-axis. So in this graph, the X-intercept would be 3 because it's crossing the X-axis at 3. The Y-intercept would be 2 because you're crossing the Y-axis at 0.2. So we can look at an equation and find the X and Y intercepts. So let's say, for example, we have the equation Y equals 2X plus 8. So to find the X-intercept, you are going to plug in 0 for Y and then solve for X. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll plug in 0 for Y. So we'll have 0 equals 2X plus 8. So now we need to get X by itself. So we're going to move 8 to the other side. So negative 8 equals 2X divided by 2. So our X-intercept for this equation would be negative 4.
I thought you were recording a video.
Well, I was, and then I continued.
There was no word warning.
I'm right on
College eligible.
Okay, so then to find the Y-intercept, we will plug in 0 for what? Any ideas? Yep, good. Plug in 0 for X and then solve for Y. So in that same equation, we'll have Y equals 2 times 0 plus 8. So 2 times 0 is what? 0, right? So that's just going to go away, and our Y-intercept will be positive 8. All right, questions on finding intercepts. Basically, to find an intercept, you plug in 0 for the opposite variable and simplify and solve.
So for like the 2X one, is always gonna be 2 underneath it.
No, you would just divide by whatever's in front of X,
What's
depending on
under
the
that?
equation.
Sorry. What's under that slash for the Y?
Here,
Yeah.
8. Because 2 times
In the
0 is just,
parentheses?
huh?
In the parentheses?
Oh, 0.
What's going on here?
All right, so I plugged in 0 for X. So my equation was 2X plus 8. So now I have 2 times 0 plus 8. But 2 times 0 is just 0, so it goes away. That's why I marked it out. Okay.
Is this like, why are we getting a negative 4 and 8? What is this for?
So we're going to, then once you, if you have an equation, you can find the intercepts and then use that to graph the equation,
Okay.
which is what I'm about to do.
Okay, so this was a different part than the intercepts.
Well, these are, yeah, so in this part, I was explaining what they were. Now I'm showing you how to find them.
We're going together. Yeah, me too.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. So this was just me explaining what intercepts were in case you needed a reminder. Then,
They will give us these.
Right, so you will be given an equation, and you have to find the x and y intercepts, and then you can use that to put it on the graph. So that's what I'm about to do. So I'm going to erase this graph to make room. So now we'll have a graph.
We're graphing those two things.
Yes. Oh, I should have gone up higher.
Oh, it's gonna be like 4 and 8 intercepts.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Right, so we said our x-intercept was -4. So that means we'll go to the left 4 and put a dot right there. Our y-intercept, we said, is +8. So from the middle, we'll go up 8 and put a dot right there. So you should have 2 separate dots that lie on your x and y axis. And then when you're done, you will just connect those dots.
Oh, my iPad's gonna die.
Keep going until you can't. All right, so then you're just going to connect those dots, and then you have the graph.
You want us to write the numbers by the dots?
You don't have to. Just make sure I can tell where your dots are. Now, I don't do teeny tiny graphs that are so hard to see. Make them large enough that I can see them. So like, if this is the lines of your paper, do not give me a graph that's like this. Like, make it big enough that I can see it. I have tons of graph paper over there. If you all would love to use graph paper, go for it. I was going to say, and I think on OneNote and stuff, you can make it set up as graph paper. So just do that. Or you can even go on Google and like find an image of a coordinate plane and like put that on there and graph on your lines on that. I don't care, but do it big enough that I can see it. I want nice, neat, large graphs.
You got it, June.
Okay.
Paper style. There we go.
All right. Any questions with intercepts? I think that's about as far as we'll have time to get today. I do want you guys to do a little bit of practice here. It's 4 questions. So, page 167. Today, I just want you guys to do 1 through 4. Okay? So, just like the examples we just did, you're finding the intercepts and graphing them.